Cancer, welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading for June 3rd, 2023. Full moons close out cycles. So for the next 2 weeks, you're going to be closing out a cycle with the theme of the Magician card. Not a bad card to have. It's skill, it's manifestation, it is your vision, it is focus, which is how you master anything. Um, let's see what else. It's self-confidence and leadership according to this card. But again, for me, mostly it's about your vision, the bigger picture, and becoming conscious of something and then wanting to master it. So let's say, I don't know, you're at the beach and you see somebody um, sailing, and you're like, wow, I had never thought that that's something I might want to do, but it looks great and looks fun, and I'm going to, I can see myself, right? The vision, I can see myself on the water, blah, 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 blah. Let me look into it. Let me master the idea or the skill of sailing. And so you put your efforts and your focus into what it is that you want to master. But everything that you do, every decision you make will kind of be checks and balances with that vision that you have. So let's say, again, you want to learn how to sail. The decisions that you make, you're not going to say, okay, well, let me get a surfboard. You know what I mean? It's not, it doesn't check out with your vision. So roughly, that's kind of what it means. You get the idea. Okay, so let's see what is being closed out for you. You have the Empress card. This is a very nurturing card. It can be mother. It can be grandmothers. It is definitely female. It can be pregnancy. It can be creativity. So you can be birthing ideas, creative projects, that sort of thing. It's a great card. It's an abundant card. There is not one blade of grass. There are several. Sorry about that. So the Empress card is a lot of, well, it's nature as well. So if you want to be out in nature, that's where you would go sailing, obviously. So it's nature and it's abundance and it's pregnancy. It's Venus, so she can also be fiercely protective. But if the Magician is our vision, that means the High Priestess is the structure, and the Empress then would be the details that you place upon that structure. So we might be looking into some detail here. Okay. The Temperance card, 2 major arcana, meaning that this can be felt very much on an internal level. However, the exterior will always show what's going on the inside. It's a mirror, right? So it projects back to us what it is that we are feeling and thinking on an internal level. And the Temperance card is a little bit like needing to quell our temper a little bit, needing to keep that patient energy flowing because things are in a state of flux. Now, for some people, this could be a mother or a female figure that can rile things up. She can kind of get at us sometimes. Maybe it's a mother-in-law. And the Temperance is the need to be patient and not to get too upset or angry about anything. This is associated with the sign Sagittarius. So I know with fire signs that if you, it's a passionate energy, it's a creative energy, and if you're not using your energy for creativity, right, the Empress, then it goes towards anger or, yeah, anger, your temper. So the Temperance card is saying that things are in a state of flux, and this can be in regards to creation, whether that's a child or a project or a painting. There's temperance and patience necessary while things are developing. We'll get more on that in a minute. The way you are behaving, yeah, see? Five of Swords. That's when the ego gets a little bit overblown, and we can say some pretty mean things or humiliating things. This is a no-win situation. And even if you do get what you want, it won't be how you want it. Um, Five is instability, and so it pushes us to find balance. Sometimes the magician, when he's negatively aspected, and I'm going to say that the Five of Swords is definitely a negative aspect, we can be manipulating. And so, in order to quell this energy, you're asked to leave your ego at the door. But it's a tough card. And there may need to be something that you have to decide here. I always think the Two of Swords like a scissor. And so what we're trying to regain here is peace of mind with the Two of Swords. This is somebody who can hold two opposing thoughts simultaneously, making it difficult to make a decision. The Moon in Libra is this card. And Libra can always see both sides, or not always, but they have the tendency to be able to see both sides of a situation equally, which is why they hold the scales. They're trying to balance that thing out. And so you can be trying to balance out a no-win situation, and it may be very difficult to decide or to make a decision. And I think that no matter what decision you come to with the Five of Swords there, somebody will feel bad, whether that's you or the other person. But someone suffers in the Five of Swords, which means, and which brings me to the point of it's a no-win situation, because even if you do win, somebody is left out. This can be somebody that you love or that you're close with. And it's hard, it's difficult. But this is asking for you to mind your temper. And I'm going to say it's you because this is how you're behaving. So, Five of Swords. Okay, the outcome. The Eight of Swords. Eight is a lot of power being put behind a struggle, a mental struggle. The only problem with this card is that the more you struggle, the more you kind of get stuck in the mud and the mire. And this card often says wait until the situation is turned around in your favor to make effective moves or decisions. And I do see the difficulty here of making a decision. And so it kind of feels almost like you don't want to make this decision, or you can't make the decision with the Eight of Swords. I am definitely having a frog in my throat with this reading. So there may be something that you want to say that you've been holding back, or that it comes out and it can be acrid for sure. I keep having to clear my throat, so that is sort of like when you clear your throat, you have an announcement to make kind of situation. And with that, you have the Five of Cups, and that's regret. So there are regrets here. Maybe you wanted to say something and you didn't, and you regret not saying something. That can also be a no-win situation. It can be that the actions that you are taking are ineffective and thus leaving you feeling emotionally unstable or having regrets. Sometimes the Five of Cups can be substance abuse, and so it's very possible here that we have been looking for some healing. I do feel like this is a scenario for somebody that we're looking for some healing, and this could be with drugs or alcohol, but it doesn't have to be. I'm not going to limit it to that. Um, but and we're going through this sort of process of healing, but it's not easy, and it's kind of like falling off the wagon, getting back on, doing your best. It's it's not easy. It hasn't been easy. And it may really be very, very difficult to make that final cut, to let something go completely. This could be a female as well. And it could be pregnancy. That's also possible. Waiting to get pregnant, or maybe going through procedures to do that haven't been working out, and there's suffering and regret and no-win situations. Right, let's get some. Yeah, see, this is the Walking Wounded card. We've been through a battle with the Nine of Swords, and these are all of his experiences. So he knows, he's been there, done that. He knows, and wears the battle wounds to prove it. But this is also a card of being on the precipice. Now, what I'm seeing here is it won't be for the next 2 weeks, and I think with the Temperance card it could be longer. But this is somebody who's waiting for what he has worked long and hard for to happen. And that could be you. Or it could be this person. If it's not, if the Empress is not you. But again, I have this female here going this way, right? So this could be you. This could be you. Another two, so more decisions being needed here. And the Two of Wands is basically saying, I have a passion, I would like to take it one step further, but I kind of have to figure out what that is. So let's go back to the scenario of sailing, right? So I want to learn how to sail. Let me see how other people have learned, where they've gone, who's taken them out, that kind of energy. It can also be that we've established one priority, or we've established one particular thing and we want to add to it something else. Wands are always about passion. Your passion, your fire, your internal fire that motivates you to do something. And here we're kind of looking out into the larger world. A lot of people say you have the world in your hands with the Two of Wands, and maybe you do, but for me it's more like the next step. And you have the Magician card as a theme, so that's your initial vision, right? And the Two of Wands is kind of like, okay, so where do I take that vision? What direction? Because you can, learn something several ways, or start a lot of, maybe your vision is to start a business. Well, what kind of business? That's the next step. What kind of business do I want to? And so on and so on. But it is just a next step of planning and plotting. Okay, you have the Hermit here. So for the Hermit card, I'm going to say that you kind of take yourself out of the situation for a bit. The Hermit needs to have quiet and space so that he can take out all this information that has just um, been presented to him, or he's experienced, or he's dealt with, and he needs to digest it, and he needs to come to some understandings. And so it's turning knowledge, right, everything that you've learned, into wisdom. But it can give you a bit of a lonely feeling, and especially with that Eight of Swords and the Five of Cups, you may feel like you're kind of on your own in this situation. But the Hermit he seeks answers, and he seeks people who can give him those answers. As well as the Two of Wands, they kind of, for me, are very similar in that sense. Like, you're looking out into the larger world to find out some information about how to take the next step. But the Hermit card, and what I see with the Five of Cups and the Eight of Swords, is a little bit lonely. It's a bit of a lonely energy. Or that you have to do it on your own kind of feeling. Yeah, I think this is a rather difficult energy to move through. But the Hermit card is, for me, quite positive, as is the Magician, meaning that if you put your thoughts in the right direction and you focus, you can deal with the situation. But it can also be, the Magician can also be manipulation. The thing is, you learn from that as well, right? And that's what the Hermit does. He's a 9, so 9 is a cumulative energy. It's that end of the cycle where you kind of get to see the results and understand them. How did that come about? That way, when the new cycle starts, you can do it with more information, much more informed, and help other people out who are seeking help, right? Okay, so this is quite interesting what the Spirit wants you to know. You have the Eight of Wands. It is my Law of Attraction card. There is an acceleration to a situation. It's another 8, and 8 is power. But that power can be used for good or its opposite. There may need to be some quick decisions, but the Temperance card tells me that patience is necessary. So you can feel that kind of push-pull energy of maybe a quick decision needs to be made, but I don't have all the information, or I don't have all the bits and pieces to do that. Negatively aspected, this is regression and panic even. And I can see that here a little bit as well. And that's why the Temperance card, I think, is really important. But also the Magician card, because it is your focus, and what you focus on is what you bring about. And the Eight of Wands is the same card. It is, it's the Law of Attraction card. So what you are focusing on, where thoughts go, energy flows. But things are moving. They may not be landed just yet with the Eight of Wands, but things are in motion. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. Take good care. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. And this is again being closed out for you. So I think that's a good thing. All right, take good care. Talk to you soon.